What's going on, world? Welcome back to another episode of Built by the Redstick. Y'all know what it is, presented by Elevate Treatment and Legacy Center. We come to you every Friday on YouTube. It is the one, the only Michael Oakley, and the truest to ever do it, Mr. Ronnie Lutton.
The truest to ever do it. I like
yes,
that.
Lord. Yes, Lord.
I like that.
And look, we got a special one today for you guys. We told y'all. We've been warning them.
We told them.
We've been warning them.
We
got fire guests, bro.
Swinging.
So y'all know the obligatory, I think is the word.
I don't even know, but it sounded right coming from you. I go with it.
Annual alley-oop to the introduction. Take it over, Mr. Ronnie.
Hey, it's your boy, Ronnie Lutton, Built by the Redstick. And look, I want everybody to stand up out of their seats right now. We got Mr. Luke Lawton in the building. He was a standout football player at St. Thomas More High School in Lafayette, Louisiana. He also had a great 4-year career at McNeese State. He had over 1,000 yards rushing. He had almost 800 yards receiving. He had 31 touchdowns. He even made it to the NFL, played on 9 NFL teams, with the most prominent being with the Indianapolis Colts, Mr. Super Bowl winner himself in the building. We got an NFL player in the building with us right now, ladies and gentlemen, a Super Bowl champion. Huh?
Let's give him a Built by the Redstick. Welcome.
We gotta give him a good Built by the Redstick.
Welcome.
Mr. Lawton.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm honored to be here with you guys.
Did I do my
today.
research or what? Bro?
Yeah, yeah, man. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. So, go ahead.
No, you got it.
Okay, yeah. So we talked a little bit off camera, Mr. Lawton, but we want to tell the listeners and kind of like your upbringing, like, where you came from, what brought you from the small town of New Iberia, like, who is Mr. Luke?
Well, I was born in New Iberia, 1980.
Shit.
Yeah, dude, and
80s baby.
Yeah, and my parents split up when I was young, raised by a single mom. Ended up in Lafayette. Went to St. Thomas More High School, and I just played football. And I just loved sports. Absolutely obsessed with sports, guys.
Yeah.
We didn't have, like, when I was a kid, we had Nintendo and Super Nintendo. Like, there was no Xbox Live, so, like,
it was just outside playing.
I'd play Nintendo and I'd go outside.
There you go.
I'd hit baseball, like rocks with a baseball bat, throw the football to myself, shoot baskets. I just love sports, just like you guys.
Yep.
And I was just obsessed with it, and I was married to the game. That's what I always told myself.
I noticed that big rock you got on your finger,
and
too.
You know what?
I know.
If you're married to something, you're married to something.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I got the whole Super Bowl ring. I know y'all jealous. Don't worry, though. Don't worry. Go ahead, Mr. Luke. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no. It's, I loved sports, and I followed my dreams, and the Lord blessed me with a wonderful opportunity, and I was lucky enough to make the most of it, and I stayed out of trouble, and I tried to always do the right thing, and I was rewarded for that.
Yeah.
Off the field and on the field.
So from high school you go to McNeese, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Spend 4 years, or how long did you stay at McNeese?
I was there for 5 years. I
Redshirted, okay.
And I
missed that part.
Yeah,
Damn it.
I was a 4-year starter.
Gotta do better.
Yeah, dude, I stayed at the same college. Can you believe that?
Yeah, it wasn't that transfer portal stuff. Huh?
What position?
I was a fullback. Oh, well, when I was young, dude, I was a lineman when I was little.
Okay.
So I learned how to block, and I played linebacker. I played running back. I played fullback, wide receiver.
Yeah.
Everything special.
You was just
teams.
an athlete. You was all over the field.
Yeah. Well, I played for a long time, and like your body changes. Sometimes I was big, sometimes I was small.
Yeah.
And I just played football because I just love. I guess, I belong to something bigger than me.
Yeah.
And it kept me out of trouble, and like, I don't know. I always felt like I never wanted to be the weak link, Mm-hmm. I was always accountable to my teammates, and I always wanted my teammates to think Luke is good.
Yeah.
Luke's fucking good.
Which
dude.
is a lot of us. We care about what people think about us and how we look, so we get this ungodly obsession to just be great for the approval and the praise from other people.
100%.
Yeah.
And, I always told myself in my head, like, you got to be good, just as good off the field as you are on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's totally true. And
it's so unhealthy to put that expectation on yourself, but hey, we can't help it.
Well, I mean, I think that's what really separates the good ones from the great. Like you have to really focus on what you want out of your life if you want to achieve your dreams, right? Like what is it that's holding you back from going to the next level?
Right.
And only you can answer that. What is it?
Definitely. So we transfer. So we go. Not transfer. Got it. Transfer portal wasn't alive there.
No portal.
So we finish your career at McNeese,
Yeah.
and then you get drafted or walk on free agent.
Okay, so the Buffalo Bills called me.
Okay.
I signed a free agent contract. I went to the Buffalo Bills, and I went to a training camp. And at the end of training camp, Mike Mularkey was the head coach at the time, and he said that I played my ass off, and there's just not enough room.
That's malarkey. See what I did there?
Yeah.
See what I did?
It is malarkey. So I cried. I cried in his office in front of his face.
Exactly what I was about to bring to the forefront, because so many people, like, as we start, training and doing all these things for our lives, and like to be told, like, hey man, you did the best. We just don't have space. Like, where does that put your mindset at that point? You've been playing ball for
15 years.
15 years.
14 years. Yeah.
Man, I haven't thought about that until just now. Where does that put your mind? I started crying.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is over. Oh, my God, football's over. And I just started crying. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I just started crying. And he said, just don't give up. And it'll all work out for you.
But at that point, you didn't know what that
No.
meant.
I was just like, you'll be fine. He said, but I was just crying because I poured my heart and soul,
Absolutely.
For how many years? Yeah, and just
And
balling.
not even just the years. Like, I've never experienced an NFL training camp, but I can't imagine it being the easiest thing.
When
to go
you've
through.
been told your whole time you the best and wanting to be the best, and then finally going out there and you gave it everything you had just to be told it wasn't enough. Dude, that's instant depression. Which probably, like,
I'd
started crying.
have probably been crushed. But anyway,
I fought him. Dude, I would have crushed him.
He's a lot bigger than me. A hell of a lot bigger than me. This guy's an old pro football player. This guy towers over me.
Dude, I'd have took his knees out of
Yeah,
something.
he's a nice guy, and you know what? He's a really nice guy, and he ended up coaching the Titans.
Okay.
I don't know if you know him, who he is.
Well, I know exactly who he is.
So he coached the Titans.
All over me.
Yeah, so he coached the Titans for a while. I never had any ill feelings toward any of those guys. It's a numbers game, and he respected me, and he told me to my face how much he respected my game, and that was enough for me. It crushed me, but it didn't kill me.
right.
Yeah.
You know,
And so, disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, I was just joking. Built by the Redstick does not condone violence. We actually choose that you go the other way. Thank you. All right, back to you, Mr. Luke.
So I got cut. They put me on the next flight home.
At least they paid for your flight, right? That's
Yeah.
the best, nice.
I can't even remember if I had any money at that point. I don't think I did. I think I was still broke because my free agent deal wasn't very much. I was a rookie free agent, so I signed for very little money.
What was the minimum then?
I think
'Cause
I got
know
$5,000.
was that the bonus, signing bonus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the minimum at the time, I think practice squad. I think I made like 85,000.
That's still a lot to a normal person.
Yeah, and you get it over 16 weeks, so you get like $5,000 a week. So it's good. It's a good money.
Yeah.
To play football.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad about it, and it kept my foot in the door
Yeah.
for long enough to eventually become a starter and do all the things that I did. So yeah, it's a way to keep your foot in the door. I'm not mad about being on practice squad. I was mad about it at the time.
Yeah.
Because it was costing me money. And
What do you mean costing you money?
dude, fame for one. Like being on the practice squad is a lot different than like catching passes from Peyton Manning.
Right.
So like, yeah, that happened, and then, it cost me so much money in hindsight because like, if you're not stuck on the practice squad and if you're playing, you're getting numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so the minimum for practice squad is, and this for I know, but this for my people that don't know how the NFL work. So the minimum pay for a practice squad player is significantly less than a 53-man roster player.
Correct.
What's the difference in that minimum?
Significant difference. So, I think last time I heard, the NFL practice squad guys make like $100,000.
Okay.
And and the league minimum is probably like $800,000 or $900,000. Like my last year in the NFL, the league minimum was like $440,000.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, so my last year in the NFL, the league minimum, I was making like
You're swinging 300,000 either way.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah.
So you come back home. You're still training.
Oh yeah. So I catch the flight home. I'm still training because in the back of my mind, something that tells me to never give up. Like I just knew that it was going to work out. And I played really well in Buffalo, and I did good against the starters.
Right.
So I was like, I am good enough, to play. So I kept trying.
Yeah.
And 4 or 5 weeks later, the New York Giants called me.
Did you have an agent, or this all just you? This you just grinding and
I had an
putting yourself
agent.
out there?
I had an agent, but I think the Giants called my cell phone personally.
Okay.
So I was I was a low draft pick, not a lot of money invested in me. My agent didn't care about me. My agent didn't care. He had a lot more popular people to deal with. So yeah, they called me. I fly up there to New York, land at LaGuardia, I think.
That's one of the airports there, right?
Yeah. And they picked me up in a limo.
Heck yeah.
I remember flying into New York, and I'm like, wow, this is the big time. I made it.
Yeah.
So they picked me up in a limo. They take me to the stadium, and I fucking go practice, do good, ball out. And I'm on there, I'm practicing there for, 5 or 6 weeks, and then they have roster issues. They release me. And then I go back to Buffalo. The Buffalo called me back because they wanted me back. So there's so many.
It's just always ping pong and back and
If
forth.
that answers your question.
Yeah. Now, as you go through your time in the league, of course, we've made reference to it. You were on the 2007, correct? 2007
2006, 2007.
World Championship team with the Colts, and then from there, what's kind of your life path from there? Because now you're at the pinnacle of what your sport. Whether you are an everyday starter or just on the team, you're at the pinnacle of it. And so where does Luke go from that point?
Well, I played another season in Indianapolis. Do good. We ended up losing in the second round of the playoffs. And then I get traded to Philadelphia. And then Philadelphia
They made the Super Bowl this year.
They made the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah. I get traded to Philadelphia, go through a training camp up there in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Heck yeah. Is this where you signed the 1 year, $300,000 contract with Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they cut me. And then I land on the Raiders.
Did you get that money? Is that money guaranteed? For my people out there listening.
No.
Because they mix basketball and baseball up with football.
No, that money is not guaranteed for football players. So that contract was void.
As soon as they cut you.
Yeah, as soon as they cut me. So the Indianapolis Colts, I don't know if they got a draft pick for me or not.
They did. They got a, what you call it with the C word?
A conditional pick.
Conditional pick for you.
I don't even know who they got for me, but
I'm going to just say they got Donovan McNabb for you. We're going to put you up there. They got Donovan McNabb and LaShawn McCoy for you in the future. Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Well, so I ended up on the Raiders. So I go from the best team in the league to the worst.
Yeah, the Raiders. That's my daddy team. Shout out Pops. Yeah, they got a former Raider in here.
Who's the quarterback at that time?
Rich Gannon.
Jamarcus Russell.
That's what I was about to ask.
Jamarcus
That's what I was thinking was it Jamarcus? Because I think that was so. Jamarcus's last year was 06
at LSU,
I believe.
06, 07, something 08.
Well, no, because LSU won the national championship in 07.
Oh, so
I think it was 06 or 05, one of those two.
Jamarcus. So you played with Dallas Clark. Mm-hmm. You was the backup to him at the Colts, right? He was in. Peyton Manning, Jamarcus Russell.
Probably a plethora.
I played with so many famous dudes.
I know. I'm trying to think who was at Buffalo at the time.
Dude, when I got to Buffalo, you know who the quarterback was?
Whoa.
Drew Bledsoe.
What?
Oh yeah.
Drew.
Oh yeah, that was when he got his spot took.
Hey, you know who the tailback was? Willis McGahee.
Dang.
I blocked for Willis McGahee for a training camp. He was one of the only running backs I ever blocked for that was bigger than me.
So do you still talk to these guys? So it's not a brotherhood like they put out in the public.
Well, you change teams so much.
And so they probably just was like,
Well-
what's that guy name again that blocked for me at training camp?
Actually, Willis would know me because we've actually like went to war together. Like,
Okay.
Willis, if I talked to Willis, he would know me. Like Peyton Manning would know me. Like,
Call him. I didn't mean to say that out loud. I'm sorry. My bad.
I don't have his number, but if like I saw him in the street, I don't know if he would talk to me. He probably gets talked to too much.
Yeah.
But he knows who I am.
So, what's life look after your football career, right? Because like we've talked about, so our platform's all about overcoming adversity, right? And
Okay.
so, we're aware because we messaged before, and you let us in on a little bit of your life and everything. Where does kind of the down spiral or the adversity? Is it while you're in the league going through it? Are you battling with some things, or is it after the league? Like, take us through that journey.
I guess the beginning of the downfall would be at the top of the mountain, right?
Right.
Because there's nowhere to go but down. So let's start
Right.
at the winning the Super Bowl,
Right.
and then we'll go all the way to the
Let's
bottom.
get it. Yeah.
Okay, so I win the Super Bowl. We win the Super Bowl. I get traded. I play another year. I get traded, and then it slowly gets worse because I don't know. I got traded to Philadelphia, and then like I'd done so much to get to the Colts and accomplish and to establish myself there. When I got traded to Philadelphia, it kind of like broke my heart a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. Like it just
Yeah.
cracked my heart. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like I was a dude. I played for the Colts, and I'm a loyal person, you know.
Yeah.
And I never. It just kind of broke me a little bit, like 'cause like I played for the Colts, and I got traded, and then I ended up on the Raiders, the worst team. I'm living in a hotel next to the facility. I'm cut off from my family. I'm on a terrible team, and I can't explain it. It's like there's an aura about that place, I guess. The Raiders organization, I guess you can tell. There's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll get straight to the important shit. I get on the Raiders. We're terrible. I get a concussion, and like my pill usage gets out of control.
So are you getting the pills for injuries, or are you just like, hey doc, I got a sore ankle?
Yeah,
Let me.
yeah.
Okay.
But the pills I was taking were for concussions.
Oh, what are those?
Adderall.
They give you Adderall for concussion.
Well, I mean, I took them because I had ADD. You can get prescriptions from the team doctors if you want them.
Yeah.
So you just say, I need this for
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So I started taking Adderall to remember the plays, and that was it. Like that just opened the portal, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, because like they say that frontal lobe trauma like damages your decision making processes and like
anger and
you,
emotions and stuff.
yeah, and emotion control,
Yeah.
and impulse control. And I just started taking pills to deal with the headaches and the pain of the failure.
And so what was those pills?
Adderall.
So, okay.
It was just Adderall that was really what did me in. The concussions and the Adderall, and then opiates later on down the road. But addiction's addiction, gentlemen.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what it is.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I guess really was the beginning of my downfall was like after winning the Super Bowl and getting traded to Philadelphia and getting on a bad team and dealing with failure with pills.
Yeah.
And I think that was it. That was it, really.
So would it be safe to say that, all right, you work your whole life, right? High school, Pee-wee, you the best. High school, you the best. College, you holding your own. You get to the NFL, finally be told you're not the best. You subconsciously feel that, not knowing that it was going to plague you further down the line. So then you get to the Colts, that same thing happened. You traded, not feeling good enough. Do it bring you back to how you felt at Buffalo at all? And then you get to the Raiders, and now you realize that, okay, these pills are helping me cope with not only remembering the plays, but, like, I don't care that Buffalo told me I wasn't good enough. I don't care that the coach traded me to Philadelphia. And then it became a coping mechanism or what?
It just became a dragon that I couldn't control. Like, it just took over my mind. Like, it's really difficult to put into words. Like, whenever you deal with a dragon-like addiction, like, you can't think about anything but that. And it helped me deal with the frustration of failure, because not only was I on a bad team, I was involved with off the field with a very bad individual. Mm-hmm. And it
wasn't Henry Ruggs, huh?
No, it was a woman.
Oh, all right.
Jesus Christ!
What?
It was a woman, and that's another thing. That's another. It was a woman, and it got me off track.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, most people see the top end, right? So they see, like, your all-star players and the contracts they're signing, and then all of a sudden you're running into these people and you're like, yeah, I play football and I'm in the NFL, but they don't recognize the disparity between a superstar's contract versus a 53-man, someone who's
right,
like
just a backup
or just on the 53, right?
Yeah.
And so now women or family are now using you. They think you got more money than what you really do, because not only you're having to pay.
You're rich.
Huh?
Everybody thinks you're
Everybody
rich.
thinks you're rich.
Yep. Yep. But he's actually rich, so. No, I'm not. And he didn't play in the NFL.
No, I'm not. So the last team you played for was Oakland?
Yes, sir.
2013?
No, 2010.
2010.
Okay.
So what does Luke's life look like from that point forward, right? The football's over. We come straight back to Louisiana, or we.
And what ended football? I'm sorry to go along with what he said. What was it? Was like 2010? That's it. Going into what Mike said.
I got suspended by the Raiders for performance-enhancing drugs.
Okay.
And I think that was just a way for them to get rid of me, because they do it to a lot of people. They did it to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was something stupid. And they did that to the guy that replaced me, Marcel Reese. They did that to him after they did that.
Reese.
Yeah, they did that to him too. He was a 5-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I remember
they did
that.
the same thing to him.
Yeah.
So when they're done with you, they'll just find a way to get rid of you.
Yeah.
So they slapped a performance-enhancing drug,
PED, what they
yeah,
call it.
PED on me. So really that blackballed me for the rest of the league. I was done. I had my Super Bowl ring. I didn't care anymore. I was on a terrible team.
So
I was 30 years old. I was tired of playing football, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was tired of it. Like, I was just sick of it. So I had a kid with a woman that didn't care about me. So I gave her everything. She stole a bunch of money from me. She took everything from me. She's a narcissist.
Yeah.
So I got involved with a narcissistic woman. Took my kid. Took everything she could. Left. The downward spiral continued. So I joined the Marines.
They took a 30-year-old.
I was 32.
Oh,
I joined the Marines when I was 32. So I joined the Marines as a form of rehab. That's was that before or after I went to rehab? No, I went to rehab before I went to the Marines. Yeah.
All right, so we leave football, we go to rehab, and then get out of rehab, and we're looking for discipline. So we've been under a team for so long. Why not join the Marines?
From pill popper to patriotic. I like it.
Yeah, it was something I always wanted to do when I was a young person. Like, I was going to join the Marines when I was a kid. Okay. And I played football for a long time.
So did you know Pat Tillman?
No, he was my idol. He's the reason I did it.
I'm feeling that.
So Pat Tillman was my inspiration. I did 4 years on the reserve side in the Marines, and it was a great experience. I went to Parris Island. It was awesome. I enjoyed it, and I'm a better man for it.
So that little spurt from 2010 to you get suspended for PEDs to before rehab, what was that right there? Was what harder drugs like more than Adderall or?
No. I never really, no, I didn't really have any problem with anything other than Adderall, really.
Okay.
And Adderall and opioids. And I mean, I consider pornography and also an addiction as well.
Man, look.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Especially now, dude, it is a problem.
Hey,
Absolutely.
brother.
We can talk about that another time, but yeah, like,
Bruh.
I mean, pornography played a role in my addictions. All of these things.
And the stimulant and pornography go hand in hand.
Yeah, well,
That
you know,
is-
addiction's addiction, and
Yeah,
they
for
overlap.
For sure.
And, you know, I've dealt with all kinds of dragons, and, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And, you know, the fact that we're talking about it now and, you know, makes people aware of how dangerous all this shit is that they're giving to kids, all this porn and all these stimulants, you know, you got to stop it.
We got an episode where maybe 3 episodes ago where Mike was talking about that, you know, like having a doctor that he trusts, but also having his own beliefs of putting kids on Adderall at an early
Yeah,
age.
dude, I had a
He's
doctor.
against it.
Dude, I had a doctor that I trusted put me on Adderall. My mom put me on it.
Yeah. So you was already familiar with it.
Well, we have, like, when I was a kid, like, I did take Adderall for 1 year in high school. I got introduced to it that way, but I didn't know what it was. My mom just gave it to me in my vitamins.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, when I got to the NFL, she told me, she's like, why don't you take Adderall again? So, you know, my mother wouldn't give me anything that she knows was bad for me. So, like, the whole system is brainwashed.
Ooh. Y'all gonna have to come back and have a whole talk about this.
Yeah.
So you telling me if I give my kid Adderall, they'll make it to the NFL?
Fuck no. It's probably kill him.
So after the
You ready.
Marines, and so we go through that, we go through rehab, and obviously you come out on the other side bigger and better mentally, and more adept. And so after the Marines, or the reserve, you moved to Baton Rouge, or how long have you been in Baton Rouge?
Welcome to Elevate, a place for people like you, built by people just like you.
We're committed to helping all elevate from the destruction of addiction.
I hope I would give somebody who's either new in recovery or that's currently struggling with addiction as today can be the last day. That you struggle the last day, that you wonder how you're going to have to chase down that drink, that fix, whatever the case may be for you.
At Elevate, we embody more than treatment. It's about passion, love, understanding, truly being your partner on your path to recovery.
Our staff treats substance abuse and co-occurring mental health disorders with a multidisciplinary approach to best fit our clients' needs. We all just embrace each other. We genuinely care, check up on each other, and it's not an act. You matter. You're more than what you've allowed yourself to assume you were.
When perseverance, hard work, and dedication meets, success happens.
At Elevate, we have a variety of programs to fit our clients' personal needs, such as intensive outpatient, and the aftercare program.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, give us a call. Elevate. Do more than recover. Leave a legacy.
I moved to Baton Rouge in 2020.
2020.
4 years, 5 years, almost 5 years.
Okay.
Okay.
What was that transition about?
COVID-19. I lost my apartment in Lafayette. I had just started Lawton Helmet Corporation, and we were in the startup phase, and we raised a bunch of money. But you know, it takes a lot of money to start a corporation.
Yeah.
So I ended up losing all of my money and all of my apartment. I lost my car too. And I went to work for UPS. And that was in 2020. I went to work for UPS in the peak season of 2020.
Which is like November, I think. October, November.
November.
Yeah, November.
I started out working there. I was living out of one of my dad's rent houses in Houston because I didn't have anything because I lost all of it. And that's where I started to rebuild myself, I guess you could say. Because, you know, I mean, like those years in the Marines, I was coaching football. Like, I was doing a lot of things. Like, I was still struggling, like, with my addictions and stuff.
Right.
And because I really didn't know what I wanted to do next with my life. Because all I ever wanted to be was a football player.
Right. And so now it's gone.
Yeah. So I was like, I spent like, then I joined the Marines. I did it. And it really wasn't all that it was cracked up to be for me, because, like, I had a kid and I didn't have the experience that I wanted. So I came home. I was really just down and depressed. You know, got really bad off on drugs again. And then I lost everything with and then I started the helmet company. And COVID-19 came and kind of just, that was kind of like it was just a whirlwind for everybody, right?
Absolutely.
Lost everything and ended up moving to Houston in one of my dad's rent houses and working at UPS. And I just rebuilt myself from there.
And then so the UPS relocated you to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I was able to relocate here. Still working at UPS. And working on my helmet corporation in any other free time that I had.
Yeah. So tell us about the Lawton.com, the helmet corporation that you're speaking about. Like, what's the mission statement? What's the purpose? Like, what's behind that?
Oh, well, the reason I started the business was because I suffered so many injuries, concussions when I was a player. So many. And I knew that I know how to fix it.
Yeah.
And, I just felt like God gave me a mission. This is my purpose. It's my purpose in life. And, the helmets are still a problem. They're even more of a problem now than ever. And with, somebody has to fix it, and I know how to fix it. So it's a battle worth fighting. You need to pick your battles. It's a battle worth fighting. And I don't know if you guys know this, but football's dying. Kids don't play it as much as they used to anymore, and it's because of the
parents not wanting
concussions. They're afraid of the kids getting hurt.
That's why Kayla don't want Elijah and them to play, because of the concussion.
Right. So if I can just finish getting these helmets made, I can save football, or we can save football, because we have to get people to wear them.
Yeah.
Right? It's a team effort. But that's how to fix it. And I just I've been working on it for 7 or 8 years now. And the thing is, guys, it's hard to invent something and bring it to market and make money with it.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Luckily for you, Roger Goodell, he texts us, not a lot during the season. He'll text us a lot during the off season. During the season, he'll text us a couple times. So he's actually going to see this, right? So what is your pitch to him? Because he's going to see it. Like, what would you tell him to incorporate Lawton?
I don't know much, but if I had to guess based off of what I feel from Luke, he's probably not that much of a fan of old Roger.
Well, his commissioner was
It was Roger.
It was Roger.
Roger been there that long?
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's been there for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I had to tell Roger Goodell, like, look, I know how to fix the helmet problem. It's because the helmets are not tight enough. And with this helmet, you can monitor the fits of the helmet from the sideline. It fix everybody, whether he would listen or not.
And I'm being Roger right now, what separates your helmets from Rydell or, the other helmets that we're using?
Ours are proactive. Like, we have real time. There's real time. Like, it's a real time concussion prevention device. Like, the light will turn red if the helmet doesn't fit properly. See, like now, see how the helmet, like the chin strap at the bottom is loose?
Yeah.
Like, if you had the helmet on your head with the chin strap loose like that, that light would be red.
Right.
See, you know how all those quarterbacks wear that shit with their shit loose now?
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to wear this helmet because the light would always be red. The problem is the helmets aren't tight enough. So I always noticed this when I would get hurt. I would go and put my helmet, like I'd get hit, and I'd get a headache, and I would take my helmet off, and then I put it back on, and I'd get the trainer to put some air into it. And if he could put air into it, I knew it was empty. And and if he would squeeze it and put air into it, and I could feel it go in, I'd be like, fuck, I didn't have air in my helmet.
Yeah.
And it happened all the time. There has to be a way to monitor the air inside the helmet, to monitor the fit all the time, because the helmets lose pressure throughout the game.
Right.
That's just it. That's it. It's just that's how you fix it. It's really easy.
Simple fix.
Got me sold.
Simple fix.
And so if once you get these into production, are they in production yet?
No.
It's still in the building phase. Mm-hmm. Where would you be able to purchase them from Lawton.com?
I haven't even gotten that far.
And so, future looking, what would be a price point for one of these helmets?
Well, they would go for like $500 because that's what Rydell charges for a regular helmet.
And
you
so
didn't know how much football helmets are expensive.
Football helmets are not cheap.
Oh yeah.
Back when I played, it was like
so
$50.
Is what you're trying to do a add-on, like where you license it to Rydell to put onto all their helmets, or is it a helmet?
Dude, we actually have designs for both. It's funny you mentioned that. We have a smart helmet designed for a Speed Flex.
Okay. And so your goal, your mission is to have your system on every level of football to where a computer is reading everybody's helmet, and if it's pressurized to the optimal amount to prevent or lower the amount of concussions happening.
In a perfect world, yeah. But I mean, it's not a perfect world, and who's going to monitor like a peewee football team,
Right.
But that's in theory that it doesn't. You can prevent them if you just do it.
I get you. So now, what other? So our big, like I said, our big platform, our big motivation on our platform is overcoming adversity, right? So like my story is, and Ronnie's story is very similar, right? Found addiction. Or addiction found us, whatever way you want to put it. The trials and tribulations of it. I was heroin addict. Ronnie, heroin addict as well, but also battled with some mental health stuff. And so he really takes pride in bringing awareness to suicide prevention and things like that. What is, I guess, for lack of a better term, your why on why you pursue your life the way you do, right? You talked about mentoring kids, bringing awareness to these things. Why, right? Like, why not just, because I can only imagine that creating a brand of smart technology of helmets, it's not the easiest task to take over. Like you said, you're really breaking into a sector that's already monopolized by multiple people who could really care less, because at the end of the day, billionaires don't really care about their product, which is the players, right? Like you said, as soon as they're washed up, they find a reason to get rid of them, no matter what that is, right? So like, why the battle? Why the fight?
Because it can be prevented. And if you think about it, it makes all the kids that play football smarter. Because if they don't get hurt, they don't get concussions, their ceiling stays high. They can go to college. They don't have mental health issues if they just wear the helmet. That's a why right there. But I guess that's enough of a why right there.
Hell yeah.
I like it. So you want to protect the babies?
Well, I think we all do.
Yeah.
And I think if you know how to fix something, I think it's your obligation as a man to do it.
Responsibility.
Right. Like, you know how to fix people, right?
Well,
Well, you're kind of pretty good at it if you have your own treatment center. So it's your obligation as a man.
I have a message, and I agree with that. Like, I have a message and a responsibility to try to carry that message and to impact and try to impact in a positive light as many people as I can.
Same.
Yeah, I get that.
So what would you say Over 100. We don't even know how many concussions. We just gonna say over 100 and some concussions. What have been the long-term effects that you have noticed that have directly, or possibly directly, came from being concussed?
Depression, anxiety, memory loss, despair,
How do you feel?
fog.
How do you feel you battled the depression? Like, what's your go-to?
I mean, I think you have to start with Jesus. Like,
Amen.
I think it was the name of Jesus has power. And if I come across a name more powerful than Jesus's, I'll let you know. But I haven't found one yet.
Other than Ronnie LaDove, of course.
Say it. Say it.
There is tremendous. There's tremendous power in the name of Jesus, my brother. And he can break bindings and all sorts of things. And I don't know. It just Jesus. He saved me, and I don't really know how.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into that. When would you say that like you really started finding your spirituality, your relationship with God, your relationship with Jesus?
I'd always been really like spiritual. I always believed in God.
Right.
Like when I came out of the womb, I was like, man, I definitely believe in God. I know He exists.
Yeah.
You know, you feel the strong spiritual
Yeah.
connection, or you don't.
Yeah.
Always felt a very strong spiritual connection, but always believed in Jesus. I don't know why, but you know, we fall back and we backslide, and you know, I started just diving back into it, and just with YouTube videos and figuring out like why am I not happy? Why have I accomplished so many things in my life, and like why am I still not happy?
Yep.
Like what in the hell is wrong?
Yes, indeed.
And I think that was it. Like that was it.
It's like the prodigal son. You know,
Prodigal?
Prodigal? What I said?
I think
Prodigal son.
I think
Yeah.
particle.
Well, I said particle because I was talking about the board. The prodigal son. Sorry, mama and daddy. I know y'all gonna see this. I promise y'all raised me right. The prodigal son. Teach him in a way, and you know,
So that they return.
so that they return. There you go. Oh God, I can't believe I said particle. Why did I say particle?
It was just a word slip, bro. It's all good.
So you said something like, bro, your story is powerful because like people all, and I used to be that person. It'd be like, bro, if I just had this, like I would be happy.
Oh,
I just had this.
Tell you something. That's true. Like, dude, I have literally had it all. Like,
Yes,
dude,
from Super Bowl to Rehab.
let me
like
tell you
said,
something.
that
Like,
was
I'm going to tell you I'm going to be completely honest with you, dude. I've had it all. I've been a Super Bowl champion. I've, like, had the best looking girls you could ask for.
money. You know,
money,
which people always think make
fame.
you
I've had it all.
yeah.
And I'll tell you something, dude. True happiness comes from within.
Say that to
anytime-
the people in the camera right here.
It only comes from within.
Yes.
True happiness comes from within. There's nothing external that can make you happy. It only comes from within. That's it.
And I mean, you was living a lifestyle where, and that's why I was asking about the lifestyle where it's like you pretty much could have had anything you wanted at the snap of a finger.
Yeah.
And you still ended up battling addiction. Like it has no prejudice. It
I was still looking for something outside myself to make me happy. Because at the very end of the day, that's really what addiction is. Looking for
Absolutely.
something outside yourself to make you happy. And I had everything, and I still wasn't happy.
So Mike puts this in a beautiful, and I'm probably finna butcher it. He's gonna have to clean it up. He describes addiction as an internal.
No, when we talk about like finding that peace, right? It's always an external crisis that creates an internal desire that wants to change, right? So like addiction is this external crisis, and it comes from a multitude of things, whether it be different traumatic events that happened, whether it be loss of loved ones, whether it be a loss of purpose, right? So like you see so many they refer to it in psychology as empty nest syndrome, right? So when a parent spends their whole life and their whole purpose is just raising their kids, and then their kids are gone to college, they experience empty nest syndrome, right? You experienced it with your NFL and your football career, right? Your whole life you're trying for something, and then football's taken away. Ronnie talks about it in his story with sports, and so we all have these demons or these dragons, as you speak of, that come and attack us. And when it's time to change and when that person is ready to change, that's where we find that external crisis. And like you said, that peace, that love, that joy comes from an internal desire, right? That external crisis creates an internal desire to want to change. And that internal desire to change produces peace. It produces love. It produces joy. It produces happiness within myself, not with external things. Because like you said, like one of my favorite quotes comes from a guy by the name of Bob Marley. And he says, some people are so broke that all they have is money. You know? And
That's so powerful.
and we think about it with like your story, and there's plenty of stories to pull from where just depression and despair reign over people's lives who from an external view we think have it all. Right? Robin Williams made millions upon millions of people laugh while he was going through his most darkest moments and ended up creating the ultimate sacrifice. Luke talked about it in this episode with us, like being at the top of the mountain where, you know, I'm a Super Bowl champ with my team. I have the camaraderie. I have cars. I have a house. I'm making hundreds of thousands. Because like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, even if you're $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, I mean that's decent money. You can. I mean,
the 16 weeks at the time. That's good money. That's good money.
Yeah, but you still have to make it last for the other. You know what? There's 52 weeks in a year, so 16, so 20, 36 weeks.
We don't care about that.
Yeah, you still have to make it last. A lot of them lose it. And so yeah, I mean. I as Ronnie made reference to, like, the stories are always very similar in the manner in which like we find these addictions, and the beauty of what we try to do here and what we, I believe, are doing is letting people know that there is a way out, right? Whatever manner that be, right? So like you found your way out through faith in Jesus and him restoring you and him being your savior and you know, telling people that, like, look, if you dig deep down inside there, you know, I talk about it all the time, like, right, for deep down in every man, woman, and child is the fundamental
idea of God. Go right? Man, preach.
And so as we can connect with that, I feel like we can start doing some powerful things and restore that joy to our life. And joy within someone, I believe, is one of the most contagious things that ever, right? You ever just see somebody who's just happy? Like, one of two things is going to happen if you see somebody who's like genuinely happy. First thing that's probably going to happen is you're going to be bitter because you're not happy. You're going to be like, man, what the fuck you so happy about? But they keep that smile up long enough, you ain't got no choice but to fucking smile or get away.
I get that all the time. They be like, bro, why you so happy? I be like, don't be worried about it, sweetheart. Just know this that splat right here. That splat.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Yeah, that's a powerful story, bro. Because like I say, and we talk about it all the time, like, it has no prejudice. Don't care if you're a doctor. Don't care if you're a Super Bowl champion, a homeless person on the streets, whether you're a present father, an absent father, black, white, Mexican, whatever you are. Like, it's coming. And it's coming hard.
Absolutely.
And I got to wear a Super Bowl ring, but I am so happy about that. I don't think I'll ever be that close to it again.
Don't say that. I mean, you never know. You might have Patrick Mahomes on here one day.
Dude, I promise you, if that ever happens.
Kermit himself.
You never know. You never know. You never know.
Manifest that shit.
Manifest it. Manifest it.
Luke,
You're
man,
right.
we
God, I hate this.
I know we have come to our time. We appreciate you joining us more than anything. So absolutely.
The pleasure is all ours. Is there any way people can find you that you'd like to share your information? We told them about Lawton.com, your YouTube channel, I believe you spoke about.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm actually, I keep a low profile.
There you go. Super Bowl champion that keep a low profile. Oh my God.
I don't let social media steal my magic.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Ronnie,
We got to do the outro.
we got to do the outro, dude.
My babies. So we had another fire episode. As y'all can see, it has no prejudice, mental health, addiction. It don't care. It's real. It's very prevalent in a lot of people's lives. On this episode, we went from the Super Bowl to rehab. So, of course, as always, if you're struggling or if you know anybody that's struggling, please reach out to us. You can find us on the Built by the Redstick Facebook page. Message us. Michael Axelrod Oakley, Ronnie LaDuff. We're always here to help, serve the community, and even outside the community any way we can. And as always,
Tell him, bro. Tell him, bro. 25.
oh yeah, and of course I'm sorry, I almost forgot. We keeping up the hashtag 25 out, thighs out.
Yes, Lord.
Mr. Luke didn't get the memo. He ain't here in jeans, you know what I'm saying? My legs not as nice as theirs, but they coming. They coming along
You
a
know.
little bit, you know.
Hashtag at the.
Hashtag 25 out, thighs out.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah, dude, you crazy. But as always, we'll be back at the same time, at the same place, with the same producer. Built by the Redstick, baby. Built by adversity, led by courage.
We love y'all. Built by the Redstick.
You can't tell me nothing.